We just finished looking at the artwork of artist Paul Klee, and we are going to be doing something similar on a neat, different piece of paper. So this is what people used to use before there was Google, and you would actually look words up in a book to see what they meant. So we're going to use it because it gives us a little visual texture. Now you can't feel it. When I touch it, I don't feel anything, but visual texture just is going to add, when you look at it, it gives the look of some texture. So first I'm going to draw some shapes on here. I'm going to be using probably mostly rectangles and triangles and some squares, but maybe pop in a couple circles here and there for fun. It's up to you. Now that I'm done drawing the shapes for my city, it's time to think about color. And we talked about the color last week. Today, if you'll notice, there are all the primary colors, red, yellow, and blue, all the secondary colors, orange, green, and violet, but we're missing our tertiary colors. So today you are going to choose one of these, your very favorite, or just something that you think will look good with this. You're going to choose one color as the primary color you're going to work with, and then you are going to be mixing the two tertiary colors next to it. So let's say I'm going to choose green. Green is going to be my primary color that I'm going to use, so I can just use this and paint green straight out of the color wheel. And you guys remember, when you're painting with Mr. Brush, you want to keep nice on the tiptoes of his hair. I guess that is weird, but you want to keep his hair looking really, really nice, so you don't want to grind it into the paper. And then you're going to give him his nice relaxing bath when it's time. La-dee-da-dee-da. Okay, that sounded awful, sorry. You're going to dry him off on his mat and then go for another color. But this time, not only are you going for another color, you have to mix it. So to make the tertiary color that lives next door to green, it's blue-green, and I know I'm going to mix blue and green. So this spilled, so I'm just going to take some of this that has some blue and green in it. Looks like it got more blue, so I'm going to get a little more green. I'm going to try to have equal amounts of both my colors in there, and then start stirring it around in my palette until I have what looks like a good blue-green. Maybe it needs actually a little more blue. So I'm going to wipe this off, wash Mr. Brush, la-dee-da-dee-da, and then dry him off. Get a little more blue. There we go, that's a good blue-green, I think. So now I have my blue-green mixed, and I'm going to start painting it in. It's kind of easier to mix with a larger paintbrush. It might be easier to paint with a smaller tipped paintbrush, so you might want to go back and forth. Okay, now that I have my tertiary blue-green painted, I'm going to mix my next tertiary color next to green, which I have blue-green, so now I'm going to look on the other side of green and use yellow-green. So I'm going to start by scooping out some yellow and putting it in this palette, my mixing palette. I'm going to rinse off Mr. Brush, dry him off on the mat, and get some green. I'm actually just going to add a tiny bit of green to the yellow because green is really powerful and yellow isn't. Perfect. So what I'm discovering with this paint is if you treat it a little bit more like watercolor by dipping your brush into the water and then getting some paint, it looks really pretty because you can see the words through it a little more. And that is kind of fun. So that's an option. Now that we have our greens done, we've got green, blue-green that we mixed, and yellow-green that we mixed, and we have just a few spaces left that haven't been painted yet. And so what we're going to do is find the complementary color of green, and we're going to mix a tint of it. And what that means is we're going to take white and add some red to white. Now, for all of the colors, any color that you choose, especially red because it is powerful, we're just going to take a tiny pinch and start mixing, and then you can always add more with white, but you can, if you go too far, you won't be able to go back. So I have a lovely shade of, or a lovely tint of red that is pink, and I like pink, so I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to add my complementary pinks into this painting. And actually, if you want to do a few in one tint and then darken it, you can. So I'm going to give Mr. Brush his nice relaxing bath. I'm going to get a little more red on my paintbrush and mix it in and make a little bit darker tint. I think this is all I'm going to do. If you want to leave a few white spaces, you can. Don't leave too many white spaces, but I think a few is nice.